Oh man, here we are. It is Memorial Day weekend. We're doing the filming of this, and the third week of May. I mean, we've got all kinds of crazy stuff happening. Another shooting in Washington, D.C. They say the president was, nowhere in harm's way, but another bizarre incident. I believe the shooter is killed. This is the third incident in the last month. The third, okay? What is happening here? There's a chemical plant in California that may be blowing up. They had to evacuate over 40,000 people in Orange County, California. We've got some ship in Staten Island or something that blew up. There was a car just the other day near Wall Street in New York City that blew up. But it was no foul play. No foul play. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. What? Woohoo! I'll tell you, folks, the crazy thing. But for me, there was the two big events this week. Just really, really disappointing. America, I love you. And I am very proud to be an American. I assume that many of you are as well. Hopefully all of you are. And we are at our 250th birthday. This beautiful experiment of freedom. Understand our history, even though we may argue about what really happened here or there, blah, blah, blah. But we've had monarchies and dictators and just all kinds of authoritarian people just ruling over other humans in all kinds of vicious and mean ways. And hey, we haven't been perfect here in the last 250 years either. I know. But such a land of freedom and liberty and opportunity. I mean, you have to think, I know the left just wants to, poo-poo America, and oh my God, America's so bad. And I always think these lefties just really go to Sweden, go to Denmark. I've partied with some Danes before, Skull, and go to these Canada, wherever. Go to Cuba. I don't know if you want to go to Cuba now. Ooh. Anyway, go somewhere else where you think it's so much better. This is really. It's a great country. It's a great country for all of our flaws. And unfortunately, I worry we're under a lot of strain. We're under a lot of strain. As great as we are, it's amazing the resiliency. And to think if we didn't have so much corruption in Washington, D.C., the district of criminals, Columbia, you know what I'm saying? They really are. It really is a district of criminals. It's really, both parties, folks, really, both parties. We lean right on the show, I like to say. I even call myself a real American right-winger. I probably shouldn't do that. People just don't even know. It just goes right over your head. You don't even know what I'm just talking about. We're a country based on classical liberalism. Do you even know what that word means? I know Rush Limbaugh just killed that word, right? Because a lot of lefties were, there was a lot of liberals in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, who were just kind of going more and more left all the time, and they were ruining liberalism. I'll give you an example, okay, if you don't understand this. Okay, this is old school liberal, okay? Real liberal, by the way. They would say things like with the First Amendment. They would say, well, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I defend your right to say it. Yeah, but the last 20 years, have we heard so much of that? Oh, no, we've heard more. Oh, that's hate speech. Oh, no, you can't talk like that. That's politically incorrect. Oh, we're going to cancel you if you keep doing that. Yeah, see? So there's all kinds of authoritarianism that comes from different sides all the time. Now we're getting some weird stuff with the Trumpian people. You can't say this about this group, and you can't say that. And look, the First Amendment's a beautiful thing, folks. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And I don't like how it's abused. I don't like how people have poor taste and say some really disgusting and improper things here and there. But as long as I and you and all of us can say how we think and feel, that's just a beautiful thing. And that doesn't always exist everywhere across the globe. And, frankly, they may get taken away here. And the people are trying. They're nipping at it. It's a beautiful thing, our First Amendment, though. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the right to assemble, freedom of religion, the whole thing. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So it is our 250th birthday, but this past week in May, this third week of May 2026, this has been a rough one, especially for those of us who love liberty and freedom and have hope or want to have hope for this great country. So Tuesday, as many of you know, Thomas Massie lost his primary in Kentucky. What? I mean, and then how Republicans and the Trump, what do you want to call them, lefties? Okay, sycophants, lapdogs, whatever, yeah, they all just turned on this guy and, went after this guy. And it's like, what are you doing? I mean, you could disagree with Tom Massie about some things. Maybe I don't agree with him on everything. But this was one of the few decent people in Washington, D.C. Because there aren't many folks, okay? Either party, either side, there weren't many, okay? And this guy, if you really look into him, his whole deal is pretty interesting. He went to MIT, and even though he's a Republican and everything, oh my God, hey, this guy was quite a real environmentalist, not just someone who does a bunch of this, you lefties, about, yeah, John Kerry, climate change is an existential threat to humanity. What the hell? But he's got an SUV. He flies all over. Yeah. Senator from Massachusetts, yeah. Secretary of State, former presidential candidate, yeah. And where did he go? Was it last year, the year before? Yeah, to one of the biggest, most extravagant weddings in the world. In the world, yeah, in the world, baby. I think it was in India. It was a big oil man in India. Had all these people come from all over the world for his daughter's wedding. They spent crazy money. I think even more than Bezos spent the other year with that goofy broad. He's with Lauren Sanchez in Venice or whatever the hell that was, bringing in DiCaprio. Who, DiCaprio might have been there too. Big, again, these people, a bunch of, hypocrites. So a lot of carbon footprint. If you follow you lefties, yeah, that's your boy. Yeah, John Kerry. Yeah. But this guy, Massie, whoa, dude, he went to MIT and he's a smart dude. And I'm not smart enough to explain it all, but he solar paneled his house and is off the grid and allegedly even somehow solar panel stuff to fuel his or charge up his EV. I mean, again, I'm not, this is stuff that's a little beyond me, okay? So, pretty cool dude. I like people that practice what they preach, and John Kerry, not a great example on the left. Not a great example, Democrats. Not. Anyway, and that goes for you too. DiCaprio and all the big mouths, over there in Hollywood. Oh, the environment, and then you guys go and make this huge footprint. For me, but not for thee. Me, thee, different. Oh, these elitists, and I don't like elitists on any side, by the way, politically. But that's what we deal with. The hypocrisy. We're all humans. We're hypocrites. Which brings you to the Trump people. They turned on this guy, Massie. And what was it really about? Was it really about that he voted against the big, beautiful bill last year? It wasn't beautiful, folks. It was bloated. It's almost like Biden was still there. Big and bloated. And put my children, your children, everybody's grandchildren. Oh, you don't got grandchildren? It doesn't matter. Your grandchildren to be and their kids. Deeper and deeper in the hole. I mean, this is insane. Yeah, go look where the national debt is now. Are we at 40 yet? Maybe not yet, but we're on our way to 40 trillion. Crazy, crazy stuff. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. And here's Massie, a guy saying, hey, no, what are we doing? The Republicans took back control. I mean, let's, we got the Republican president, coming back. I mean, no, let's, no, but nobody wants to do the work, go through these bills, cut the fat out, cut the waste out. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just been ridiculous what's going on in Washington for years, decade after decade, both parties, okay? This is just sickening. When I first got really hyper-political, we were just approaching $4 trillion in debt, and now we're almost 10 times that now of the national debt. And what? Because we don't want to tax rich people enough, or because we overspend? A little of both, but the spending really is the problem. And by the way, with the spending, one of the other sad byproducts is what? Inflation. Oh, yeah. The Fed has something to do with that, but excess government spending also leads to more inflation. So, again, I don't know, Trump hates the dollar. What the hell's going on with this guy? Maybe it's all part of his crypto world that he's in, but we'll get into that another time. to see Tom Massie lose, and by the way, he still has to serve out his term, and this Ed Gellerin, something like that. And by the way, we'll talk a little bit about Ed. If he really was a Navy SEAL, okay, I give him his props on that. That's pretty cool. But did everybody know something about Ed? Did you hear what Ed's for? Did you? You didn't? He's for the draft. Ooh. Who's been talking to you about the draft for a while? Reminding you that it's not just this, militant Republican thing. You got a guy who was on Kamala's side, Alex Carr, Palantir. Oh, but now now he likes Trump because Trump won. But all Silicon Valley is now coming back over to Trump's side. Yeah, real good there. And of course he's in with Peter Thiel, also was a big Palantir guy. So it's kind of interesting, folks. So you see this, and little people like me just trying to connect the dots. Interesting stuff. So he loses his primary. He tells a few jokes. I thought it was kind of funny. Somebody thought it was really anti-Semitic. He said, he couldn't find the guy he lost to, right? But he had to call him in Tel Aviv, and okay, that was kind of funny. Whatever. You can't take a joke. Well, Scott Jennings can't take a joke. Oh, little Scott Jennings. Oh God, this guy just makes me so sick. Aren't you Republicans sick of all these BSers? I mean, come to somebody like me. I'm going to tell you like it is. I mean, even look at PBD, and I got problems with PBD. Those guys, they tell you a little more how it is. And there's other places to go. You got to go to Tucker or whatever. I'm not saying all these guys are perfect and that I agree with them on every single thing that they say, but there's other places to go. Don't watch this geek Scott Jennings, or why would you ever listen to Dan Bongino ever again? Because he's back on the radio because he's not man enough to have a real job at the FBI. So apparently, oh my goodness gracious. So to me, this just looks like, it looks like the president is either guilty of something in the Epstein files, and there are accusations there. It doesn't mean they're true, but it either means Donald J. Trump is guilty of something, and this is really what it's really all about, and or, could be either or, and or, he has some powerful friends. Oh, by the way, John Paulson, he gave some money to the MAGA Kentucky, which was neither MAGA or Kentucky, as Massie would point out. And you're not bothered by that? John Paulson, the guy who somehow knew, he's one of the few. I know that the Big Short people knew, Peter Schiff knew. There's a few smart people that knew that the big financial crisis was coming in 2008, but not many. Paulson was one of them. He bet against housing, and John Paulson did very well. Yeah, and he knew Jeff Epstein. Yeah, they were whatever, friends, associates, I don't know. If somebody was somebody's client, allegedly. I don't know. He was one of the big donors to this, to Ed Gellerin. So is Ed Gellerin, you think he's got a chance to beat the Democrat in that district? Is it the 4th district? I don't know, in Kentucky? What do you think, folks? Massie was quite popular there. I think I don't know, when did he first get in there? 2010, 2012, something like that. He's been there quite a while. And he seems to be doing a decent job trying to fight the good fight, trying to remind Republicans what they're supposed to be. People for limited government, which, when they get in office, all that campaign it goes out the window. And they're, sometimes as bad as the Democrats, sometimes even worse. It's amazing. Because they want a lot of military spending, and then in the military bills, there's pork. Bring home the bacon. What is wrong with you people? So this looks really sickening to me. The way the president talked about Massie seemed very petty, very weird. Like Massie really got under his skin somehow. I mean, I know that the left and the loyal opposition to Trump, well, because he just wouldn't get in line with Trump, and Trump has to have complete control over people, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't know, maybe. I think there's something a little deeper there. I think Massie was somebody who was really looking for the truth, one of the few good people in Washington trying to do his job. And I think this looks really bad for Donald Trump. So you might be on the left, you might be entertained, because there's definitely a divide. I've been talking about it for quite a while now. There is a divide on the right, absolutely a schism, whatever you want to call it. It's real, and we're going to go into, of course, the midterms here in November, and we got this crazy war going on. I mean, it's all nuts, folks. And anyway, and then the week gets worse. Then all of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard resigns. And, again, I don't mean to be the conspiracy guy, conspiracy theorist. I mean, the official reason is that her husband has some rare bone cancer. So if her husband has some cancer, of course, we wish him all the best. I believe he's a relatively young man, and we wish him all the best. And hopefully they can catch this in time and save him and help him. But this is very strange, because there were a lot of people after her deputy guy, Joe, whatever his name was, resigned a month or two ago. A lot of people thought, she was next, including Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, that old hag. Yeah, Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, you buddy. Yeah, you just won't go away. You just won't go away. You had your moment, dude. You were the head of 666 FOX. Yes, F, 6-letter alphabet. O, 15, 1 plus 5, 15th letter of the alphabet, and X, the 24th letter of the alphabet, 2 plus 4. 666, Fox, you were the dude, you were the stud of Fox, and then even, Tucker was the stud of Fox, and then now, I don't know who is it now, was it Jesse Waters? But, Hannity's hanging on. Hannity's hanging on, the boy. He's hanging in there. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so, and there was a lot of things that came out strange about her. I mean, a representative of Florida, Anna Paulina Luna, one of my favorite reps, she's kind of kooky like me in the UFO stuff, and she's so pretty. Oh, what a beautiful Latina. She said there was something where Tulsi's office was raided, and later people said, no, it wasn't really raided, but the CIA went there and they took out a bunch of JFK files that had not been released. Everyone told everything was released. Apparently not. What's all that about? What's all that about? John Radcliffe. That's our CIA director. Yeah, he went to China recently with President Trump, and President Trump met with Xi. And what did you think of that, folks? Did you pay any attention to that? I don't know if Xi speaks English at all. I'm not really sure if he does or he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if I've really heard him do it. I got to check that out. Why do I bring that up? You know where Xi had some education as a younger man, right? Right? Oh, you don't know? Yeah, here in the Midwest. Yeah, I may have been in Iowa. Yeah, that's right. Xi Jinping, or however you say his name, the leader of China right now. Yeah, he was an exchange student over here. And isn't that funny? And then Hannity, speaking of 666, speaking of Fox, Hannity, that old hag too, that old hack. He interviewed the president after that trip. Talked to the president about Chinese buying land here, and the president stuck up for that. And he asked about the students coming over here, the student visas and the students coming over here. And the president stuck up for the Chinese students. Did you see it? No, go find it. If you don't like me right now, oh, Jay, you're one of them. You're a Democrat. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a Democrat, okay? I'm an independent. I'm an American. I care about my country. Love my country. Do you love your country? 250 years, baby. Happy birthday. Do you care? MAGA, whatever it is, you got to believe it, man. This is ridiculous. This guy is a joke. And no, somebody's in control of him. He's not in control. Like he acts like the buck stops. No, he's no Harry Truman. I don't know if Harry Truman was even Harry Truman, but Trump's no Harry Truman. No, the buck doesn't stop with him. He's told what to do by people that may have him by the cojones. Yeah, maybe it's all Epstein. Maybe it's all Mossad, M16, CIA. Epstein Island or Epstein wherever. Yeah, you don't know. It could be New York City, Epstein, New Mexico, wherever. Oh, yeah. All sad but true. So So maybe it's good that Tulsi's leaving. I like her. I don't know if she's the girl in pearls. She's my girl in pearls. I don't think she's going to be the girl in pearls. It's probably going to be Gretchen. That's another time for another show. Anyway, I hope we can keep this republic going. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experiment. Happy birthday, America. We're going to be celebrating that here in a little over a month with the 4th of July coming up here. Still, all the problems, all the corruption, the greatest country in the world. A group of badass Freemasons took on a monarchy. I know. I'm sure the Brotherhood got it, it got some bad people in it, ruined it all up, and then the monarchy's got its claws back in us in so many different ways and got so many people by the you-know-what. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. Hope you remember those who've gone before us, and especially those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Take care, everyone. God bless, and we will talk soon.